everyone, today's video is going to be about my top 10 favorite moments from the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. Now, I won't be putting these events in particular order, but some will have a bias, particularly Canadian bias, and some will be more favorites than others. So I'll let you know which one is which, but with a lot to cover, let's get right into it. Now, I said I wasn't putting these in any particular order, but this one's probably my top favorite thing that happened at the games, and that was the Canadian women's soccer team won gold! I got up at 4:45 in the morning to watch this game, and it did not disappoint. The team would beat Sweden in a penalty kick out, turning their previous Olympic bronze medal into a gold. Initially, it didn't look like it was going very well when Sweden scored an early goal and were dominating possession of the ball for the most part, but Canada was able to get a penalty kick and was able to tie up the game later for extra time. Now, this is Canada's first gold in the sport. It was earned through multiple successful penalty kickouts as well. This wasn't their first one they had experienced at the Olympics. And after the controversial loss to the USA in Rio, revenge is sweet. The goalie was amazing. The kickers were great. Overall, as someone who has no idea what's going on in soccer, I was very pleased with what occurred and I loved it. I was also super happy for Christine St. Clair to finally win a gold medal, adding to her greatest international goal scorer of all time. She now has an Olympic gold medal to add to that, so it's a pretty impressive career. So my next favorite performance will also be filled with a little bit of Canadian bias, and that is for Penny OLEKSIAK, who is now considered Canada's most decorated Olympic athlete. At the 2016 Rio Olympics, she stunned the world with her performance and multiple medals in the 100-meter butterfly, the 100-meter freestyle, the 4x100-meter freestyle relay, and the 4x200-meter freestyle relay, earning a gold, silver, and 2 bronzes in that order. She would later compete in the 200-meter freestyle, the 4x100-meter medley, and the 4x100-meter freestyle at the Tokyo Games to earn an additional silver and 2 bronze. Her medal total now stands at 7, which is 1 higher than summer-winter Olympian Clara Hughes and winter Olympian Cindy Clausen, who both have 6. Now, she credits her success with her teammates who in relays helped her win medals, end quote. Makes it 10 times sweeter knowing that I've accomplished this history with girls who are also making history. And after having a bit of a previously frustrating season, she was able to pull out all the stops and now become Canada's most decorated Olympian ever. Also, quick shout out to OLEKSIAK'S teammate, Maggie McNeil, who won gold in the 100-meter butterfly. Her reaction was priceless. Now, one of the more unique events I feel to happen was the double gold medal tie in the men's high jump. Now, the IOC doesn't like to hand out multiple gold medals often, but in this case, athletes Qatar Mutaz Essa Barshim and Italy's Gianmarco Tamberi were able to convince them otherwise. Both athletes had been friendly rivals for a couple of years up to this point, and in the finals, they were able to both clear jumps of 2.37 meters, but also both failed to clear jumps of 2.39 meters 3 times each. They were told that they were going to be having a jump off, essentially, but the athletes didn't want to and said that they would rather share a gold medal. So after talking to officials, they agreed and the gold was shared. Obviously, they each got their own gold medal. Their reactions are also pretty incredible afterwards, also considering that the Italian was unable to compete in Rio due to breaking his ankle shortly before the Olympic Games. And it was a true moment of sportsmanship between 2 friends. Now, again, one of my favorite personal performances of the games was SIFAN HASSAN of the Netherlands. Now, Hassan is originally from Ethiopia and emigrated to the Netherlands as a refugee at the age of 15, shortly after earning her Dutch citizenship. Now, heading into the games, she was the world champion in the 10,000 meter and the 1,500 meter. So she was strong medal contenders for those events, but she was also a big medal contender for the 5,000 meters. However, in running those 3 events, proved to be a pretty grueling schedule, even for an Olympic level athlete, where she would be running sometimes heat races and final races in the same day and finals back to back without rest days in between. In total, with all her heats and finals, she ran 6 events in 8 days. Now, she was looking to get a triple gold in the 1,500, 5,000, and 10,000 meter events. She would go to win gold in the 5,000 and 10,000 and bronze in the 1,500, which has made her the only athlete to win 3 medals in those 3 events at a single Olympic Games. If that's not enough, it didn't even look like she was going to be able to make it to the 1,500 meter final. In her heat race, she was stuck near the back of the pack, and on the last lap, a runner fell down in front of her, tripped her up, and she fell to the ground. She immediately got up, now very far behind the pack, and turned on another gear from somewhere and was able to finish first in her heat. Even more incredible is that later that day, she ran the 10,000 meter final and won gold. It was an incredible and tenacious performance by Hassan, and I'm excited to see her hopefully defend these Olympic titles in the next games. Now, both 400 meter hurdle races produced world record times. American athlete Sydney McLaughlin would win gold and set a new world record in the women's 400 meters hurdles race. She actually beat her own previous world record, which beat a world record that dated back from like the 1970s and had been unbroken for like 50 years. A similar performance was seen in the men's hurdles when Norwegian Karsten Warholm also beat his own world record, setting a new one and earning gold. He actually beat his world record by 0.76 seconds, which is considered a pretty big gap for that distance in that discipline. He also beat other competitors on the track by a fair chunk of time as well. His performance has been considered one of the best races of all time and one of the best performances in hurdles in all time as well. Both the races were incredible to watch live and the reactions were priceless. Now, if they go to another World Championships next year and both break their world records, I will have some serious questions. Now, FELIX is now the most decorated American track and field athlete in American Olympic history. She's also one of the longest reigning track and field athletes in Olympic history. With a total of 7 gold, 3 silver, and 1 bronze from the past 5 Olympic Games, she is the most decorated track and field athlete ever. Women's track and field athlete ever. At this Olympic Games, she earned those titles by winning a bronze in the 400 meter and gold in the 4x400 meter relay. She was also able to achieve this while training during the COVID-19 pandemic and raising her 2-year-old daughter. Now, she anticipates that this will be her last Olympic Games, as she's planning on retiring prior to the 2024 Paris Olympics. And now that she's considered one of the best track and field athletes of all time, she probably deserves a little bit of a break. Now, this woman's story is pretty incredible, and I plan on going more in depth with her in a separate video, so look out for that soon. But OKSANA CHUSOVITINA is now considered the only female gymnast to ever compete in 8 Olympic Games. Her career spanned nearly 30 years of international gymnastics, and Tokyo 2020 was her official retirement. She received a standing ovation and gave a kind of teary wave to the room filled with other athletes as she was unable to qualify for the vaulting finals. However, she was still able to qualify for the Olympics at the age of 46 in a sport that is dominated by women half of her age, far younger than her. She was competing probably like 5 years before Simone Biles was even born, and she still holds the world records for most championship medals in a single event, her specialty, the vault. The fact that she competed 8 individual times at the Olympics is amazing, and I'm really excited to learn more about her and share that with you guys. A great hometown performance came from Japanese sibling duo Uta Abe and her brother Hifumi Abe, who won gold medals on the same day. Uta would win the women's 52 kilogram judo a few short hours before her brother Hifumi would win his 66 kilogram final. And this makes them the first sibling duo to win gold medals on the same day at the Olympics. And their celebration and support for one another was really kind of heartwarming to watch. And for Japan, it was an incredible moment having a brother and sister duo win at judo, which is considered one of their national sports. Very rarely do teenagers win medals at the Olympic Games, especially at the age of 14. However, it's incredibly rare when they also score perfect scores and break records doing so. This is exactly what Chinese diver Huan Ho-Chang did in the 10-meter platforms. Now, Ho-Chang is from a small farming village and had taken up the sport in order to earn money to care for her ill mother. She took up the sport at the age of 8 and became an Olympian a few short years later. Now, Ho-Chang was able to score 2 perfect dives out of her 5 in the event, which is a little bit unprecedented and actually broke records for the 10-meter diving platform. There was a lot of very young, successful athletes at this games, and she is definitely one of them. Also, the reaction of her coach holding her up, like, Simba from The Lion King when she won the gold medal and had perfect dives was also a really, really great reaction to watch. And finally, my favorite, I promise you, one of my favorite moments goes to the Australian swimming coach, Dean Boxall, and his reaction to Ariane Titmus winning the 400-meter freestyle. As one of the most highly anticipated swimming events of the games, Titmus was looking to defeat rival and probably greatest female swimmer of all time, definitely greatest American female swimmer, but possibly greatest female swimmer of all time, American Katie Ledecky. Now, Ledecky holds world records in the 400, 800, and 1500 meter freestyle and has dominated the mid to long distance swimming events for a couple years in World Champions and Olympic Games. Now, Titmus had set her sights on defeating the defending gold medalist and world record holder in the 400 meters, and she successfully beat Ledecky by less than a second in a kind of nail-biting final, and her coach, Dean Boxall, went viral for his reaction. You've probably seen the clip already. I'll try and attach a clip to it. If not, it'll be screenshots of it. It's probably one of the greatest and nicest coaching reactions I think I have ever seen. I also feel for the poor volunteer who thinks that she is somehow going to be able to control them and get them to calm down. That's also a very good reaction. So, and those are my top 10 favorite moments from the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games. I'll have some more coverage of events and performances shortly, I promise, but please let me know down below what one of your favorite moments was from the Olympic Games. And if you're interested on more sport history or more stuff about the Tokyo 2020 Olympics and Paralympics, please subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching. Bye.